Hi again, and welcome to Keita's Creations again. So this is my second video of the day, and so I was really just trying to, for one, I'm trying to catch up on my videos because it's been a while, between creating products and stuff. By the way, if you are interested in purchasing any of my natural plant-based products, you can always go to KeitasCreations2020.com and I'll leave the link in the description box. So let's get started. Now, I know in the last video I showed you guys the difference between the carbomer gel as well as the xanthan gum gel, how to make each and how each one would look. So now I was trying to think of something that I could make for you guys using that gel so that I'm not just throwing it away. So I decided, hey, I got a little bit of surfactant left, so why not just make a simple basic body wash. So that's what we're going to make. So what I have is some cocamide propyl betaine. Now these are plant-based surfactants that are on the milder side, and especially this cocoa glucoside. So this is one of my favorites because it is super mild to use, and again, they are both derived from plants, so that's a good thing as well. So what we're going to do here is, again, it's going to be a super basic recipe, so I'm not going to add in any additional items to this mixture. We're just going to do the basic add-ins, and if you guys decide you want to add in a colorant or a fragrance or any of that additional stuff, by all means do that. If you have any questions after the video, I'm more than happy to help answer those for you. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the way that I typically do mine is pretty simple. I usually add a little bit more of this cocamide propyl betaine than I do the cocoa gluc. So obviously I'm super low on this, so I'm gonna use what I have. And again, it's just like this is a sample kind of like recipe today, so we're just going to make a super small dose. So we're going to start off with our surfactants, and I'm going to pour about a 1/4 cup of that because that's all I have. I'm out of that. Typically I might do about a 1/2 cup. So because of the fact that that one is super low, I thought it was a little less than I expected. I'm just going to go ahead and do an equal part. So I'm going to do a 1/4 of this cocoa glucoside as well. And I'm going to go ahead and mix the two. Give me a second here. So I'm trying to get my spoon ready. All right, so I'm just going to get the remainder out of here. And with surfactants, because one is anionic, and one isn't. So basically they kind of like activate each other. It's the best way to put it. So what you're going to notice is it'll start to thicken. So it'll go from that watery mixture to like a gel almost, which is what's happening here. And I know I'm going a little fast, but let me remind you and remind myself while I'm at it, you don't want to overbeat this, because obviously, as you can see, I'm starting to get air bubbles incorporated in here, which is not really a good thing because it takes a while for them to disperse. But for the sake of this video and time, I like to make things super simple and super fast. So that's just kind of how I do it. So again, I've already mixed those two together. Now you are going to need a thickener, and typically what I would do is I would make a little bit of a slurry with the xanthan gum and vegetable glycerin mixture that I showed you earlier. So because I already have some mixed up here, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of that to my mixture. I'm just going to do maybe like a spoonful. And again, I'm not doing exact measurements. If you're looking for like precise measurements, I'm absolutely the wrong person for that. Okay. So that's that. And as well, one other product that I just recently came across that I absolutely adore as a thickener as well, but because it has to be used in such small amounts, you know, I still add in obviously my xanthan gum as a main thickener, but I recently purchased this Cropix, which I like. I mean, it is a natural plant-based thickener as well, and so I like to add that in also. So that's what I'm going to do, just a capful of that. So this is probably about a teaspoon because again, this is a super, super small batch. So I'm adding that in and I'm just gonna stir it in together and it's gonna start to thicken. As you can see, it's like super thick now. And that's really what you're looking for. Okay, so now if you guys are going to be adding color, you would probably add that to like your xanthan slurry mixture, as well as fragrance. If you're going to add fragrance, you would add that in now. I'm not going to add any fragrance to this because again, this is just for example purposes. I'm just showing you guys how to make a basic body wash, face wash, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so let's move on now. I'm going to add now the water. And keep in mind, you can add whatever you want. Again, like I said, the fragrance, the colorant. You can add a little bit of oil. I wouldn't recommend too much oil unless you want it to look more of like creamy, because if you want to keep it like this clear color like this, and I want you guys to see the consistency of the surfactant so far, but if you want to keep it this clear color, you want to like not use as much water. So maybe try products like you know, depending on what you're using it for, you know, if it's going to be a shampoo, you can add this wheat protein, hydrolyzed protein, or you can add, which is one of my favorites, is panthenol, which is a vitamin B5. So those are nice options if you choose, but I'm just going to go ahead and add my water in. I have about a half cup of water because that's all this beaker will probably hold. So I'm going to slowly mix that in. And again, you want to go super slow because as you can see, like the bubbles are already in there forming as we speak. So I'm just stirring it pretty slow. And if you need to add more thickener to it, by all means, you know, do that. But this is kind of where we are right now. This is like, and this is looking pretty good. It has a pretty decent consistency. I would probably add just a little more thickener to it. But as you can see, look at the consistency there. And keep in mind, this thickener consists mostly of water too. So in essence, I am, you know, like adding a little bit more water to the mix. So let's just say we added about four spoonfuls of that xanthan gum and water mixture. Now, I want you to see the difference here. This is so cool. Okay, look at how thick that is now. So this, to me, has a really nice viscosity. I want to try to show you guys how thick this is. And it looks pretty perfect. This will be the time, obviously, to check your pH, as well as to add any preservatives. Now, typically, I use this, is it pronounced Lucidol Liquid SF, which is a natural plant-based preservative, as well as, you know, vitamin E. You can add vitamin E as well. Again, with the oils, I would be a little cautious. I wouldn't add a ton of it. But, you know, if it's going to be just for you and your own body and your personal use, you can make it however you want. Just add in whatever makes you happy. And so, yeah, this looks pretty good to me. And it should become a little more clear as it sits. But I want you to just, like, see how thick this is. Hold on a second. So you can kind of see. I don't know if you guys can see how thick that is. So that's that. And now I'm going to show you, just from what I have in my hand here, the lather from it. I'm just going to pour a little bit of water in my hand. And I'm going to lather it up. Add a little bit more water. But you can kind of see, like, it gives a really nice suds. Okay. And that is it, guys. This is about as basic as it gets. As I said before, if you want to make it thicker, by all means, add a little bit more xanthan gum or a little bit more Crothix, but obviously the Crothix, you have to use that sparingly. It's I believe it's about 10% of the overall product. Also, if you want to add a fragrance, you might want to add the fragrance. Well, I'm going to say it's best to add the fragrance during the mixing of, like, surfactants. That's the best time to do that. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I said, I'm going to try to be cranking them out as fast and as much as possible because I'm trying to get caught up. So next up is going to be a lotion recipe, so just stay tuned for that. And again, if you guys are interested in purchasing any of my natural plant-based products, you can find those on KetusCreations2020.com. And again, I'll leave that link in the description box. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Bye.